Good morning, gearheads, and welcome to Speed City F1 pre-race show for the 24th and final round of the 2025 Formula One season, where we will crown a driver champion.
Well, we think we will.
Will it be four-time reigning champion Max Verstappen, or will we have a new champion from McLaren with Lando Norris or Oscar Piastri? And for the first time since 2010, we have three contenders in the final race that could win the championship. Settle in with your hot cup of coffee as we get you ready for the race that will decide the championship. I'm Jon Massengale, and across from me here in the studio in Austin, Texas, is one of the most recognizable voices of two- and four-wheel motorsports and former ESPN F1 pit reporter Jonathan Green. Good morning, Jonathan.
Morning.
And the man who needs no introduction to American Formula One fans, America's legendary voice of motorsport, Bob Varsha. Good morning, Bob. And Bob, you're muted.
Chris Medland's never muted. Ask James Vowles.
We've tried. Yes, and now to give a live update on the ground, as he's done for almost every race for us for the last 3 years, Chris Medland. Chris, the atmosphere on television looks electric, buddy.
Yeah, it is. It really is. I mean, it's got that kind of strange feeling because it's still bright sunshine. We've got another, just under an hour till lights out. And by then, you get that kind of twilight, that lovely sunset. And the floodlights start coming on, and that just adds to the atmosphere. But yeah, it's packed down here in the paddock. I've just seen Zach Brown heading, I think, to the paddock club actually to do an appearance, looking fairly calm, but yeah, a huge crowd of people outside McLaren, kind of lining the walkway from the hospitality unit to the back of their garage to catch a glimpse of the drivers when they head over to jump in their cars in probably about 5 or 10 minutes to then head out to the grid.
Awesome. Well, Bob has got his mic figured out. Mr. Varsha, how are you this morning?
Go ahead. Run my nose in it. I'm doing great considering the early hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I mean, it's hard to believe it's been 24 races this year. I mean, Melbourne, China, all those early season races are just a distant memory now.
That is very true. It seems way in the past now. And I wonder if you guys got a good night's sleep. And I really wonder if Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, and Oscar Piastri got a good night's sleep last night.
Max did. He's pole position.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Well, Lando says he did as well. Before he did the driver parade, he did a little interview with Julian Palmer, and he said he slept surprisingly well. And that this is kind of something that he's really excited for because it's what you work your whole life for, is to be in a position to win a world championship. But I don't know if I believe him. Not that he's not excited, but I'm sure he's nervous too. But whether he slept well. But B, I mean, whether you did or you didn't, kind of doesn't matter, does it? Once that adrenaline gets pumping, they're not going to be feeling tired at all.
Well, Chris,
Yeah,
this is a unique race with the sun setting right as the race gets underway. Give us your eyes. You've given us your ears. We can hear a little bit around you actually this morning. It's kind of nice. What's it look like there?
Yeah, I mean, the sun's still fairly high. It's high enough, but it sets behind the final corner. So kind of looking down the pit straight, essentially. Just slightly off of that, but close enough. And that's by design, actually. The way the track layout is, it makes sure there's not really many positions where, as it drops, it's directly into the eyes of the drivers. Down into turn 6 at the end of long back straight, there's a little bit there, but there's a grandstand that helps block it out before it gets too low. So at the moment, it's feeling fairly warm, but not blisteringly hot. It hasn't been as hot as we've had certain race weekends here. So I'm not too sure about tyre strategy, whether one stop, two stop. I think actually drivers might be able to look after those tyres in these conditions. But it gets notably cooler once that sun sets, because obviously without the sun on the track surface itself, it really does mean that you then get a notable drop in temperature compared to what you've had earlier in the afternoon. So because we're racing in the Middle East, people think, it's going to be really tough on the drivers. But actually, the timing of the race does make that a little bit easier. And I also think adds to the atmosphere as the floodlights take over and you get all the spectacular light show around as well. It really does kind of create that special look to the race that makes it now stand out as the most used venue for championship deciders or for end of season races.
Makes sense.
So this is now the traditional final race of the season.
Huh. I did not realize that.
So much is changing.
Yeah.
Well, can you guys guess, bit of trivia, what was holding that moniker until, trying to remember the year, it was till 2 years ago, I think. What
Adelaide.
Did take? It was Adelaide. And prior to
Adelaide,
that,
yeah.
Prior to that,
Whoa,
You said until
come
2 years
on.
ago?
yeah, in 2024, I think it was, or 2023 was the year that Abu Dhabi became more used than Adelaide as the final race.
Wow.
Oh, I see. Cumulatively, yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Boy, Adelaide was a lot of fun. I missed that race.
so what about
Sadly,
before
just
that,
before
Bob?
my
You got a
time,
good
but
guess?
Yeah, before that. The third longest, or third most used.
Japan.
No.
Um, here's a guess. Watkins Glen.
Bob Varsha, we have a winner.
Oh, man. Me and Bob on the case.
Nice job, gentlemen.
Yeah,
It's fantastic.
this ain't no game for wussies.
I know. And we just had to prove our chops there, didn't we?
That's very good. Nicely
Mhm.
done, Mr.
Yeah,
Medland.
welcome everybody to Chris Medland's end of season quiz.
Yes,
If
thank
tuned in
you.
for
Yeah. We're off and
That's
running.
for the final race of the season, you're in the wrong place. No.
Yeah.
Who
just
won the
thought,
first
yeah,
title
interesting
decider at Abu Dhabi?
That would have been in 2010 as a decider, and it would have been Sebastian Vettel nicking it
In a
multi-car
three-way battle.
That's
fight.
right. In a four-way.
Right.
Four-way, don't forget.
Four-way,
Lewis was in that
sorry,
fight,
yeah.
technically, yeah.
Wow.
There we
Very
go.
impressive, gentlemen.
Just checking out.
And
on
I
the
promise
reporters.
everyone listening,
All
that's
right.
none of this was scripted. None of this is in my show doc. You guys have completely blown it up.
Yes,
That's
and
right.
happily so.
We'll be here all
Happily.
week.
We're here all weekend.
Oh, that's great.
You know what? I'm feeling nostalgic, maybe because it's the last race of the season, but
Just the
look
time
at
in the
my
morning.
trivia notes. Right. I'm delirious. So many of the records set by the immortals, the Jackie Stewarts and the Ayrton Sennas and even, Juan Manuel Fangio are being surpassed. And we almost take no notice of it. And I think that's kind of sad.
Yeah, that's a good point. No doubt.
Yep,
There's
I
so
would
many
like-
races now, isn't it? It's kind of easy.
Yeah.
Easier or quicker to do some of those things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Lando Norris has started the most races that any McLaren driver has started for the team.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that seems to have happened so quickly because
Yeah,
of
yeah.
how many races per season there is.
152 now, I think.
Correct, yeah.
Orlando? Yep.
Somebody told me that it's his 16th year of racing, Lando.
Wow.
Yeah.
And he's only 27 years old,
Yeah.
26 years old, something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
I met him when
Maybe-
he was
yeah, maybe younger.
15.
Yeah. Well, Greeny, we do have in the show doc a little bit of history or information about the Yas Marina circuit.
Well, you've heard a lot of it already, but yes, it was this circuit. Abu Dhabi has now become famous for just that. The end of season hurrah. At first, it was controversial putting Abu Dhabi on the calendar. Why are we going there? It was the first venture into the Middle East, and now we have 4 Grand Prix within 150 miles, all in the Far East, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar. It's a hell of a place. This is the 17th time we've been here, and it was an amazing circuit built at $2 billion, Ferrari World included. You just mentioned that the 2010 race was won by Vettel. 70% full throttle. Interesting little stat there. Also, another little interesting factette, 177 meters from the right-hand side pole to the first corner, which is significant because that is a great place for Max to start. Is it going to be good enough for Lando on the dirty side, who also starts on the front row? We shall see. What else can I tell you?
That's
That's
a
a short
really-
run, that as well, isn't it?
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not that long, is it?
Yeah.
No, very, very short. I'm actually going to walk down to pole position right now. I'm just walking down the pit lane. I'm going to stand there and I'll tell you if it looks like a distance that's going to see a change of the lead today or not.
Well, Chris, that was a perfect lead-in, Jonathan, because I was going to ask Chris, do you think you said Lando on the dirty side and Max? Well, do you think it's going to be Lando and Max going into turn 1, or do you think Lando might let Oscar go fight Max for turn 1 and just settle in and all of his?
I don't think Lando's going to let Oscar do anything. unless he has to. By the way, 11 of the
No,
last 12 races have been won from the front row.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
10 in a row, right?
See that. I've got, dare I say, money on. I haven't actually got physical money on, but I'm expecting Lando to be a little bit cautious. Unless he gets a great start and can definitely take the lead, I think he's going to sit in behind Max.
Yeah, I agree.
But he also knows that Oscar, I think, will be careful because, of course, Oscar can't afford anything to happen. He needs to be top two to have any chance of this. As there's a huge scrum outside the front of the McLaren garage right now, trying to see what's going on in there. Actually, it's so busy. I think it's Lando just come in. It is. He's come for his little pre-debrief before he jumps in the car and heads to the grid. So they're getting into game face mode now, which I think the drivers will prefer rather than all the talking. But yeah, I think he'll be a bit cautious actually, Lando, just to make sure that he's still got it in his control even if he drops to third. But I'm with Bob. I don't see him giving up a position willingly. Just he'll be a little bit careful. The one I'm keeping an eye on actually is George Russell, because I don't think he's going to be careful at all. I think he's going to think, here's a chance for me to take opportunity of these guys having so much to lose. And he could well put himself right in the mix at the start of the race. Yeah,
I couldn't agree more. Absolutely. That's a really good point. I'm with you on this. I see how you're thinking. But the truth is, Lando just needs to get a podium. And the question is, does he change the ethos of a racing driver, which is go out and win or go out and perform? Or does he, like the England soccer team, go, well, a 2-2 draw will do. I just need to make the top three. And like you said, be a bit more cautious. I'm with you, Chris. I think, if I were Lando, I would be saying to myself, we know what Max can do from the start. We know what he's like off the line. And we know that if you get wheel to wheel with him at the apex of turn one, he will not give in, and in fact, he'll push you wide because he doesn't care.
Well, in case you've been living under a rock, let me give you the championship permutations. Jonathan just said it. Lando Norris needs to finish on the podium, and if he finishes on the podium, he's your new champion. But there are several permutations all the way down to 11th position that I have added up here. But really, if he finishes on the podium, then he's done.
Better off, yeah.
That's right. And Max Verstappen, of course, needs to finish first, second, or third. But really, if he finishes second, Lando has to finish all the way down at 8th. Piastri has to finish down in third. And if Max finishes third, Lando has to finish 9th or lower, and Piastri second or lower. And then Piastri's is the most difficult, of course, because he has to either, if he wins the race, Lando has to finish 6th or lower. And if he goes second, then Lando has to finish 10th or lower, and Max has to finish 4th or lower. So it is it's a little bit complicated, but it's also not, especially for Lando. Podium and he's done.
For Lando, it's simple, but that's in a way where I think more the pressure is, because what's more simple for the other guys is just go and win the race and see what happens. For Lando, there's second's enough, third's enough. If one of them isn't winning the race, is fourth enough. There's things that go on in his head. So that's why I think it could just get a bit tricky for him if it doesn't go well at the start, and that's where it's going to be crucial. But I promised I'd give you a view down from pole position. I am stood genuinely as close to pole as I'm physically allowed. I'm about 1.5 foot from the white line that is pole position, in front of it because of a tensor barrier that Red Bull have put up, and it does look a short run, but it's in F1 terms, it's a short run. If I had to physically run down there, it'd take me ages. And you just see this huge tower, the race control tower, waiting for you on the outside the first corner in bright sunshine right now. But honestly, for the drivers between here and there at the moment, there's so much stuff on the grid. You've got the safety car, you've got loads of TV crews and cameras. You've got these whole platforms of where they're going to stand and line up for the national anthem. You've got a number of Louis Vuitton trophy boxes, I think, that they've lined up in a big V shape that block the view. You can't see down to turn one if you're in a car. So the drivers, Verstappen in particular, and Norris on the front row, will only see from their grid slot to turn one and the track that's in front of them and the race they're about to have
on the formation
when everybody gets off. Yeah, exactly. When that formation lap starts. So getting into that mindset is so hard for them because they only get to really kind of see what's ahead of them just before they do it.
Yeah. Which I would say actually helps the monkey mind because there's no staring into the distance for 20 minutes going, what if this happens and what if that happens? I do want to say one theory, Chris. Just for fun last night, because that's the kind of guy I am. That's what I do for fun. Is I watched the 2016 race because I was intrigued because it's been mentioned several times and I'd forgotten how it played out. And of course, what happened was
Nerd alert!
Thank you. Lewis backed the field. Lewis backed the field up. And I wonder if that's how, and listening to Verstappen, he said, look, I've just got to go and win the race. That's all I can control. And I hope for some Abu Dhabi magic behind me, was his quote. And what he's referring to potentially is getting some reinforcements to help him in his quest to win the world title. And those reinforcements could come in the form of Mercedes and Russell, as you just mentioned. They could come in the form of Alonso. And they could even come, if Yuki gets his elbows out, in the form of Yuki Tsunoda. So my point is,
nothing to lose.
The only way that Max can control this race is get the start, which we kind of expect, but then perhaps try to back up the field to challenge the people behind McLaren to challenge them. Would you see that as a possibility?
Oh, completely, 100%. For one reason that you've just given, actually, Yuki, he's starting 10th, so it could have been better, but he helped out in Q3 with a bit of a toe.
Yeah.
But I expect him to start on the hard compound tyre, or a harder compound, and run long. Because then Max, by keeping the pack close, when the leaders pit, Yuki's going to be ahead of them, and then he's in the frame to influence things if needed too. And there's nothing against, if you're fighting for position, driving slower at certain points of the track, as long as it's not dangerous. George Russell was actually saying, and he and Max don't often see eye to eye, but he was talking about exactly that.
Yeah.
What he thinks will see Max back the field up, and that will create opportunities. But he can do it very safely here, especially in the final sector. So, as you said, Hamilton did it. Perez did it in 2021, trying to open up an opportunity for Max to come back at Lewis when they clearly didn't have a quick enough car. So, yes, I absolutely expect to see that. And just on Yuki, actually, a very interesting point we've just had. I went down into front of the Red Bull garages, which, again, had a huge scrum in front of Max's car. And Oliver Mintzlaff, the CEO of Red Bull, came walking out there, actually, to come onto the grid. But next door, obviously, was very quiet, Yuki's side, except for the Japanese journalists. It's the last race for Yuki in Formula One right now. It's going to be off the grid next year. Last race for Honda with Red Bull, which has actually been their most successful partnership in F1 now. And Yuki then posed with his team for a photo. And it was a really nice one. All of his mechanics came to the front and sat with him to get a photo before his final race. And that could be some legacy for him at Red Bull, couldn't it? If in that final race, he plays a role in Max winning this championship.
Well, especially as the last 2 years, the question mark at Red Bull is, can anybody help Max? And today is the day.
That's right. He could give him the ultimate help at the final race of the season.
Well, can you imagine what a hero he would be, both in Japan and around the world?
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, guys, let's get a quick break in. When we come back, I think we're going to talk about a trouble spot that could put the title fight in the steward's hands.
Ooh.
Back after these messages. All right, check in with the YouTubers. Let's see who's here. Mike Bowles was first in. Anybody awake? I don't know what time he got in here. I cannot shake this tickle in my throat. Kevin Kelly's here. Good morning, Kevin. Went to bed at 1 a.m. Wow. Hope you're doing all right, KK. I know Kevin had a family thing going on, so hope you're doing all right, buddy. Tim's here. Good evening, race fans. 7 p.m. happy hour. Well, he's almost the same time as Abu Dhabi. A couple hours, I guess.
He's loving this.
Yeah, perfect. Mike Bowles having a little eggnog, getting into the holiday spirit. There you go. Kevin was having some holiday spirit till 1 a.m. No golf for TW today. Let's see what else going. Bill Ricker's here. Morning, Bill.
He's been on.
Hope you got your coffee, Bill.
He's been on the case.
Tomorrow's the golf day, TW.
That's right. Todd Dauber's here, trying to listen from a cold Kansas deer blind. That's
my
cool.
word. That's
Oh, yikes.
So who's going to be the deer in the headlights?
James Wolfe is here. James in W for life. Yeah, whatever. Good morning. Just got the live notification. Welcome, James. What else is here? Joe Voister Bay says 4:18. Ugh. Yeah, I woke up 5 minutes before my alarm went off, kind of bolted up and went, did I miss my alarm?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. All right, let's see. Stuart's here. Stuart Neal, 727. Welcome, Stuart. Says, all right, we're coming back here shortly. Chris, I'm going to throw this question to you about the stewards. Here we go.
Go for it.
I'm George Russell, and you're listening to Speed City.
Welcome back to the fastest hour in radio, Speed City.
All right, welcome back, everybody. When we went to break, I said that we were going to talk about something that could put the fight into the steward's hands, and everybody had a cold shiver up their spine when I said that.
Because it could get messy.
Yes. And everybody's brain went back to 2021.
Michael Messi.
But Chris Medland, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you foresee anything down at turn 6-7 as a trouble spot that could put this title fight in the steward's hands?
Sadly, yes, I do. It was the case, as you say, in 21. A good argument could be made that Hamilton cut the corner and gained an advantage when Verstappen attacked him on the first lap of that race. And they just said that by Hamilton lifting off and giving up the gap that he had going into the corner, that he'd given up that advantage. Well, the stewards this weekend seem to be looking at that differently, because in Formula 2, we had a similar scenario in yesterday's race. Yep. It was Leonardo Fornaroli who's won the championship, actually. He had this incident with his teammate, Roman Stanek, and went wide. It's actually cutting turn 7. So it's turn 6 that they go wide of, but they cut the apex of 7 in the runoff area because of chicane. And Fornaroli came back on track ahead, slowed down to drop back in, like, still ahead of his teammate, but close to him, and said he thought he'd given up the advantage. The steward said, no, we deem it now that if you cut that corner and you stay ahead, you've gained an advantage and we'll penalise you. So he got a 10-second time penalty. So if they're consistent with what they did in F2, that's the punishment for drivers in F1. If you're defending and you stay ahead, even if you don't get further ahead as a result, you may well find yourself penalised and need to give up a position. So definitely a spot to watch out for. I'm actually trying to look at it right now. I've come to the outside of the final corner. I'm on the curbing on the outside of the final corner that the drivers run onto sometimes sideways on their qualifying laps just before they drop downhill slightly to the finish line as the two Alpines join the grid. They're the first two onto the grid today. And
nice.
From here, you're actually very close to turn 6. So that the long back straight runs kind of parallel to the final corner. And then you've got turn 6 that's on the outside of the final corner. So effectively, can just see cars coming through it as Oscar Piastri goes through it right now. And it's quite cambered there too. So that's why drivers go flying in there, because on the brakes, they can hit the brakes late. But then when you take the second part of it, it's uphill towards the second part of the chicane. So you can still carry more speed in and keep it on the track to the very last second. Then it's off camber. So that's why it gets a bit messy through the second part of that, the right-hander. As I've just seen the Red Bull roll through there too, although my eyesight wasn't good enough to tell you which one it was. But right now we've got all of the cars doing their recon laps, most of them running through the pits. As I say, just the two Alpines have joined the grid at the back, where there are hundreds of mechanics waiting for them, but also just as many photographers and journalists too, wanting a shot of the title contenders.
Huh. Yeah, I'd imagine so. It sounds like the press room you were in the other day, Chris. Well, Chris, that 6-7, it just occurred to me because I saw that incident in Formula 2, and I thought I would.
You're just trying to be hip with the hip, kids, aren't you? 6-7.
Yeah,
he's such a cool guy.
Heard that.
Yeah, nice work.
Speaking of hip, cool kids, I want to hear from some of the drivers. We've got. I want to see if we can hear any body language. Jonathan, you said you speak driver through helmet.
Yeah.
On a television. Let's see if you can hear, because I want to start with Max Verstappen. And after qualifying yesterday, I think about everything that Max is saying, and I think everything he says is strategic. It's all about a play.
Well, I mentally wrote to him, too, as well, so I can tell you what I wrote to him.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. All right,
Yeah.
well, let's hear from Max Verstappen.
Yeah, I think the whole weekend we were fairly happy, but not entirely happy with the car. And I think then heading into qualifying, some final changes brought it into the right window, and then we could push a bit more. So that was definitely very positive. And of course, very happy with the laps that we did, especially in Q3.
Yuki was able to help you with the tow today. What kind of special things are you going to be able to do tomorrow to try and find a way to win this championship? Yeah,
I mean, that was, of course, great from Yuki. He's been, of course, an incredible team player as well. So thank you to him for that in the first run. And, tomorrow, I mean, we want to go out there and win. And we know, of course, even if we win, we need a bit more luck. But let's see. Let's hope on a bit of Abu Dhabi magic.
Good luck.
There's that magic you were talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
So before we hear from anybody else, tell everybody what you're talking about. So you said you wrote a letter.
I wrote a mental. I put myself into the sort of mentorship of each one of them. I.e., what would I tell them if I had a chance before the race in terms of their scenario? And in Max's case, I said, dear Max, just send it. You have the new engine. Get the whole shot. Don't look back. And continue to let McLaren step on themselves as they have since Zandvoort.
Wow. Tell it like it is, Greeny.
Aha! But he would take that. He'd be like, he'd just nod and walk off and go, yeah, I hear you.
That's good. I wish you could have said that too. All right. Well, let's hear.
Wait till I get to Oscar.
Yeah. Let's hear from Lando Norris. See what he said after qualifying yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy. It could have been a lot worse. I expected it to be even closer, honestly, into Q3. And I'd say the quali battle then was between me and Oscar. Max was too far ahead. Just they were too fast. We didn't quite just have the speed in the car today. So tough one to take. But otherwise, I think we got everything out of it. I think both Oscar did a pretty good lap, and I thought I did a pretty good lap. So just not fast enough come qualifying. But tomorrow's a new day, so.
Obviously a great starting spot for tomorrow. How are you feeling about the day you've been waiting for all year tomorrow, that race, that final race?
Remarkably normal. I guess feel the same, a little bit disappointed we couldn't get first, even though it was just out of reach today. So it's just always nice to end the season on top like we did last year. It didn't win the championship last year, but it was just nice to end with a win. That's what I would like to do tomorrow, in either cases. So, I feel good, and we'll go and do everything the same as normal. So,
good luck tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, Jonathan Green, let's hear your letter to Lando Norris.
Oh, dear Lando. Lando. So much has been said about this. But look, let's look at the facts, Lando. Look, leave it to Max. You know that if it's close, Max will risk it at the first corner. So just let him go. The Red Bull doesn't have the best car. You do. And you have, at every round, proven that, as has your teammate. So just relax. You only need a top three. Forget Max Verstappen. Forget being a racing driver and winning. Get the podium, be the world champion, and never buy a drink again.
So your little letters, do they have any little smiley faces? How are you presenting
No emojis. No, this is just straight text message the night before,
Okay, one last interview here. Let's hear from Oscar Piastri, and then followed by Jonathan's letter.
I think, honestly, pretty good. I think, Q1 I got a nice lap on the board, and it was the first good lap I've done all weekend, so it was nice to kind of set myself a baseline for the rest of quali. I think in Q3 things felt good. My lap was pretty good, and I think Lando's lap was pretty good. So I think that was more or less all we had. Ultimately, pretty pleased.
Have you found your feet kind of with the car and compared to yesterday? And does that give you the confidence to really go after it? Because that's what you got to do tomorrow, haven't you?
Yeah, definitely. I think we made some good improvements from practice yesterday, even from practice this morning or this afternoon. I felt much happier with the car, and I felt like I was driving a lot better as well, which helps. So I think we're in a reasonable place with that. Obviously not quite quick enough to beat Max today, but I think we did everything we could.
Thanks, Oscar.
Thank you.
Okay, Greeny, this is the one I'm looking forward to the most.
Okay.
Your letter to Oscar.
Oscar. It's very simple. Just take a big yawn, Aussie boy. Let the championship come to you. It's the other two with the pressure. And the truth is, go for gold, because you can't count on the team to get it right for you. Vis-a-vis Qatar and Las Vegas. Ignore all papaya rules, ignore anything that anybody tells you, and be the racing driver you were born to be. Go for it.
That's pretty good, Jonathan Green.
Pretty good.
Well, you know what? That's a nice little segue into the next segment, because we're going to get a break here. And when we come back, I want to ask Chris about Oscar's strategy today. You listen to Speed City back after these messages.
I thought you'd like those.
That was good, Gritty. That was very good. Let's see what the YouTubers are saying. TW gives you some checkered flags. Mike Bowles says, go JG.
So what happens if they all take your advice?
Chris, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. You're absolutely right. But it would be funny if they all thought those things, wouldn't it?
No, it's great.
Yeah.
Irv McDaniel on YouTube says he's got his Sparkle shirt on. Irv, you missed this by a couple of races, buddy. That was ready for Vegas.
That was Vegas.
Oh, that was fun, Greeny.
Wow. Murphy wrote those.
Very good.
Have we got anything on the tubers?
I'm just reading Tim's. He said, Mike Bowles said hair of the dog, talking about the drinking that Kevin and others were talking about. And then he says, my wife brought 5 bags back from the U.S. last month. Hair of the dog. I'm missing that one. Sorry. Chris, where are you headed, buddy?
I'm heading back to the front of the grid. I've just seen Lando run and jump over the pit wall back into the garage. So let's see if we can get anyone
precarious.
from
Running and jumping is not a good thing to do before you Grand Prix.
They're trying to keep out of the way of people here, though. I can tell you that. We're told we can't approach the drivers. So I'm looking for either Andrea or more likely Zach, who I'm sure everyone's looking for, but we'll try.
I'll tell you one thing that I did notice. We had this discussion last week about whether Christian Horner would be a good foil for Adrian Newey as the team principal. I do think that what Zach Brown has done this weekend has been a great foil for Andrea Stella, just keeping him in the background.
Hi, this is Karun Chandok, and you're listening to Speed City.
Welcome back to the fastest hour in radio, Speed City.
All right, we're 30 minutes from the title-deciding 2025 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And I want to ask Chris Medland, who is in Abu Dhabi, microphone in hand, heading up to see if he can grab some interviews. Chris, Oscar Piastri, sitting in third position here. I'm wondering if Max and Lando get away well, and do you think that Oscar might deviate his strategy, do his own thing, and kind of trust this to luck, and maybe do a tire strategy change or something? What do you think?
I mean, it's possible. I do think that's something that McLaren will have discussed, I think, with everybody to try and work out what can or can't be done in terms of what's Lando happy with. Because as tricky as it sounds, you imagine if McLaren say to Lando, here, we're going to copy what Max does, and then Oscar is allowed to try some crazy strategy that wins in the race, and the strategy's wrong with Lando and Max, and they drop out off the podium and Oscar becomes champion, Lando's going to be very unhappy. They'll have had those talks already, so he knows, all right, there's a chance they try something different. They've got to in that position. So, yes, I think we could see a bit of a change in approach from the Oscar car. But at the same time, they as much as they need to gamble, they just got to win. They can't control who's second and third, but he's just got to get ahead of those two cars. So it's realistically going to be whatever the best strategy. Now, I'm going to paint a quite awkward picture for you all, actually, right now. But it seems on the grid just past the start-finish line. So, what am I, about 2, 3
we're looking at it right now.
Lando Norris's car. Well, are you? Is it camera looking at a floor that's been dirtied?
Oh.
the track surface, I think someone's not been very well.
Oh dear!
And it's and it's on the track, so it's been covered up.
I
with
can
some
answer
cloths.
that.
Bob,
it's some nerves. I think it's got to someone.
Bob's got the answer.
During the hot laps, Jolyon Palmer got into a McLaren, I think, with James Hinchcliffe driving. And they went, lit the tires and slid the car and all that kind of thing. And when they got back, Palmer got out and yacked.
No way!
Oh my gosh.
It was very subtle, but he did. No, all the great ones do. I did that at Coda once when I was
All the great ones.
showing how to do it.
Talking to great ones, there's Alain Prost, 4-time world champion on the grid.
Oh
the
yeah,
background.
the grid is definitely full. Hey Chris, we have a request from my daughter. She said, "Can you get an interview with Katy Perry?"
I can confirm. Oh, if I see her, she's playing tonight, isn't she? I imagine I won't be first in the queue, but I'll give that a go. I can confirm, by the way, it was a security guard has been very unwell on the track. So they are going to clean it up. They're allowed to go and get some soap and water and get that cleaned up. But it's on Lando's side of the grid. If he had to go to the inside of the track, that would affect his launch.
Well,
So
I mean, if he had meatballs last night, he's got good grip.
Yeah. Oh.
And lunch.
And lunch.
I don't
Frosties for breakfast?
I said I'd paint a lot of pictures today, but I'm not painting that one.
I was going to say,
I promise you that.
we've gone down a path that is not great.
You never know what Abu Dhabi will throw up.
But it wasn't. I could defend James Hinchcliffe. It wasn't him. All right?
Okay, fair enough.
Definitely was not Hinch.
I did see the lap, and I could see that Palmer was a little bit nervous.
I think that would have been done a few days ago, to be honest.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
If he did leave anything on the track, then that definitely got cleaned up. Whereas this one, they're in the process of. But you don't need that, do you? If you're Lando Norris, you don't need to see that and be like, oh, okay, I can't go. If Max squeezes me to the inside, I can't go further inside and lose a bit of grip.
All right. Well, hey, I want to play one more driver interview from yesterday because Lewis Hamilton has just had let's just face it, it's been an awful year. And he had this interview is going to just typify his entire year. So let's hear from Lewis.
I think most of the lap was good enough to get through. I just didn't finish it.
And how different did the car feel after the rebuild and the great job the team did, obviously, this morning?
The team did a mega job. They deserve better for sure.
Hard luck. Thanks.
Chris, I knew that I could play that without worry that you might grab someone because it wasn't very long, and that's what I meant by.
No, it wasn't. It really was a short one, wasn't it? Short and sweet. But it is a sign of how things are. I've managed to get myself near Zach Brown, but he's doing one of many interviews in a very confined space. So we'll see if we get a question to him. But Flavio Briatore's just come over to shake his hand and wish him good luck. Flavio knows a thing or two about title deciders, actually, but it's been a while since he's been involved in one of those, isn't it? So it's interesting to see some of the people on this grid that do know what Zach will be feeling. He needs to go somewhere. So I'll very quickly, as he heads there, Zach, let's ask, how are the nerves?
Thank you.
I'm sorry? How are the nerves?
Yeah, not too bad. Ready to go racing. Very excited. Drivers are ready. We're ready. It's game on.
Still sticking with either can win it. Would you still be happy if Max wins it because you guys would let them go and race?
Only if he beats us because he did a better job. My comment there is I don't want us to beat ourselves. So would I be happy if he won it? Of course not. But are both drivers today have equal opportunity to win this championship? They do.
And do you let Oscar do something different to try and make something happen from third?
Oh, we'll have to wait and see.
All right, good luck.
Great, Chris. You asked my question, but he also answered you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Don't beat ourselves.
Don't beat ourselves. Exactly right. Just a quick note back to Hamilton. You got to feel for a guy. I was just looking at it. 5 wins. He's got the most wins here. 2011, 14, 16, 18, and 19. You must be devastated to sit there in 16th place knowing that there's a championship on the line and you're nowhere near it. I mean, nowhere near it.
Yeah, not even a shot. Hey, Chris, I'm going to go back to you because you're
Yeah,
you're on the grid there. And
this was the last one, wasn't it, that he was involved? Sorry, I was going to say, the last time this was a championship fight here in Abu Dhabi,
Yeah, he was
that
involved.
was him and Max.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the start of this run.
Yep.
That was where this all kicked off.
Yep.
And yet now here we are, where, as you say, absolutely nowhere. But he did say after he learned that Verstappen had won in Qatar, he said, "Oh, that's going to be exciting at the last race, isn't it?" So we'll see if it remains the case as I try and see if I can get myself into position. So just grab a word. Laurent, can I very quickly ask, how are the nerves before a title decider?
Oh, the what?
How are the nerves before a championship decider?
They are good. Everybody has been preparing very, very well. It was an amazing pole yesterday. Mega speed. We are not expecting to be at that level of pace. So all the focus goes on giving Max a similar race pace, and what's happening behind you can control.
You have to get creative with both cars, though. Maybe get Yuki in the mix.
Yeah, I mean, it's important that Yuki was fast yesterday, and the faster he is, the more he can be in the mix. Yeah.
Thank you, Laurent. Good luck today.
Laurent
Laurent
Mekies.
Mekies, the Red Bull team principal. Yeah, I'm just grabbing people and shouting at them. So sorry if listeners
Mr.
don't understand who
Sunshine.
that is.
Yeah, don't worry, no worries, Chris. Get who you can.
By the way, just a shout out to Lauren Mekies. I mean, the fact that he took over this team and they were nowhere. They were 104 points off when he basically took over, and now they're in a title deciding position, 12 points off the lead. You've got to give a lot of credit to him. I mean, regardless of the Horner situation, to build
Absolutely.
that in such a short space of time and have the team and Max say, we've got a real good feeling in the team, and he's been saying that since.
I'd love to hear the book a few years from now.
Yeah.
Because Max really is a different driver from the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I agree.
No doubt. And Mekies has to have some of that credit, for sure.
No question. No question.
Chris, I was just going to...
Oh, I had someone from Red
Go
Bull
ahead.
mention. I said it's almost a bit sad that we don't have like the villainous character of Christian Horner here, sort of stoking the flames.
Yeah, exactly.
Really revving it up against Zach Brown. But someone involved with Red Bull said, I mean, that's true. I can see that argument. But at the same time, I'm not certain we'd be in this position without the changes we've undergone.
That's interesting.
No one knew
Very
at the time.
interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, so you can see that.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Chris, I was just going to comment about, we were looking at the cavalcade of stars, as they say, in the grid area. But you say the crowd here is not one of these massive 250,000
No,
people.
it's not. I think it's like 60,000.
Yeah, it's something like that, isn't it, Chris?
It is 60, yeah. 60. Well, I think it now might be nearer 70 because they've added more general admission areas. They're trying to fit in people wherever they can. As GP walks past me, Max's race engineer, having a look at Oscar Piastri's car right now as the anthem's about to start. But yeah, it is full. It's just not huge. You're right. And I will admit one thing that feels different. As much as we're building this up, we've got the ultimate showdown is being displayed everywhere around the screens with the three drivers. Max actually in the middle of it, Lando and Oscar either side of him. But it does feel slightly less tense and dramatic compared to 2021. I think the way that fight went down, the way that was two drivers pretty much every weekend on the same piece of tarmac having incidents. This time it's been such a different ebb and flow across the year.
Yeah.
It's been rare that we've seen the drivers going at it against each other. And it does feel like it's kind of in Lando's hands unless something strange happens or someone gets creative. Then it was a straight shootout, wasn't it, between two cars, winner takes all. So I do feel like there's anticipation in the air, there's excitement, but there's not quite the tension that there was, despite someone throwing up on the front of the grid.
Give it 16 minutes, Chris. Things will change.
All right. Well, I think they're playing the national anthem. Am I right, Chris? Let's get a break in real quick. You're listening to Speed City F1 back after these messages. All right. Let's see. Checking in on YouTube. Chris, was I right? Were they playing the national anthem?
Spot on timing, yeah.
Beautiful.
Brilliantly done.
Let's see. Yeah, Joe Voister and Max is way more relaxed. And Mike says, yeah, agree. Shows pleasure like he never has. I just think that is, you have to give Mickey some of that credit, man. Like you were saying, Greeny, that was just, I mean, he's the boss. The buck stops there. So if everything had gone horribly wrong, he would have been blamed. So let's give him some
there
credit.
could have been a lot of finger pointing. I mean, now, he was there 20 years. I mean, he was Red Bull from the get-go, was Horner. So, yeah, I mean, it could have imploded. That you never know what feelings people have and how they fit in and Nui going and all the rest of it. the heart and soul of the team could have absolutely imploded, but it hasn't.
Yep. All right, we're going to go to the Varsha grid, Chris, unless you got something.
Oh, you know what? I'll just interrupt it.
And Bob's got it tightened up a little bit, so it's not going to be as long, so you won't have as much opportunity. So you better go for it.
Get in there, go early. Yeah.
That's right.
Roger that.
Oh, wow. They're showing the flyover.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
The double deckers.
Yeah.
Those things are huge.
God, that's a massive plane.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
And then the little fighter jets underneath with the colored stripes of the flag. That's cool. And the sun is getting low in the sky.
Is that Trump's? Is that Trump's?
Trump's flag?
No, is it?
It's Trump's plane.
New plane.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. They're just going to fly it straight over here.
Yeah.
He's got a 747.
No, we're talking about the gift. You're talking about the gift, right?
Yeah. But that's a 747.
Yeah. Well, you said, is that Trump's plane? No, that's an A380.
Yeah, that's
Trump
a double. That's a double decker. Yeah.
Right.
And Trump's came from Qatar, not Abu Dhabi, right?
I know.
All right, here we go. Coming back.
True.
Hi, this is Max Verstappen, and you're listening to Speed City.
Welcome back to the fastest hour in radio, Speed City.
Thank you, Max, and good luck today. And we're going to run, if you missed qualifying, Bob Varsha is going to give us a quick rundown of the grid to get you up to speed so you know where everybody's starting.
Yep, but before I do, I want to make a point, now that I can get in and say something.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the action downstream. Yeah, we're all excited about the World Championship, but look further down the grid, and there are 8 drivers covered by 19 points. So there could be a lot of shuffling around the drivers and even the team's championship.
Yep.
Okay, everybody ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Grid time.
Let's do it.
Okay, row 1, pole sitter Max Verstappen for Red Bull. The 4-time champ laid down 2 laps, good enough for his 8th pole of the year and 5th here. Now he simply needs to win the race with points leader Norris no higher than 4th. P2, Lando Norris for McLaren, 0.2 of a second off of Max's time and 12 points ahead in the title chase. If Norris lands anywhere on the podium, his first ever world championship is in the bag. Row 2, P3, Oscar Piastri in the McLaren. Once the championship leader by about a zillion points, even Australian politicians are calling out the McLaren team for favoring Englishman Norris over Aussie Piastri. He'll need a first or second place finish with Verstappen and Norris off the podium to claim his first. Let's see. P4, George Russell for Mercedes. No chance for a trophy for Georgie today, but he is definitely a threat for the race win, a possible 3rd on the season for him. Row 3, P5, Charles Leclerc for Ferrari. The next victory for a Ferrari engine in Formula One will be the 250th for the brand. But as soon as McLaren started racking up wins in the early season, Ferrari cut bait on development.
Bob, I'm going to cut you off if you start doing the grid, and I've done that with Ao Komatsu here, the Haas-team principal, because they were just saying to the studio, Ao, okay, we've got a title fight at the front, everyone's focusing on, but you've got Constructors' Championship positions to fight for. 7th you're going for? Are you thinking 6th? What's the target?
No, I don't think we can be too hung up on the result. All we can do is just race as best as possible. And we got just Fernand Bortoletti here, with Esteban here, so it's all very, very tight. So just focusing on maximizing our result with both cars. We got to get both cars into points, right? So yeah, that's what we're focusing on.
Yeah, your Racing Bulls, Aston Martin, Sauber, all in the top 10 as well. It's really tight in midfield. But do you hope for a bit of chaos up front as well with this championship fight to open up some big chances?
Yeah, that'd be nice. But, honestly, you can only control what you can control, right? So we just focus on what we need to do.
And final question is strategy. 1 stop or 2 stop?
I think it's very close.
Oh,
yeah.
Could go either way. All right, well, good luck today.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, domo arigato, Io, for helping to make my point there. Okay, I mentioned that when McLaren started racking up wins in the early season, Ferrari stopped developing their car, and Lewis Hamilton says that really hurt team morale. P6, Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin with practice finishes of 9th and 4th. The ageless Spaniard could do some damage today, although that he did receive a cane in the annual Driver's Secret Santa party. Very subtle. Row 4, P7, Gabriel Bortoleto for Sauber, who we're saying goodbye to today, by the way. A huge qualifying effort from the Brazilian rookie, matching his best grid position this year, one spot below his best finish in 6th. P8, Esteban Ocon for Haas, who has a renewed focus on the latter half of the season. Haas announced an expanded partnership with Toyota this week, so good things may be in store for the American squad. Row 5, P9, Isaac Hadjar for Racing Bulls. Bit of a lightweight performance in qualifying for a rookie who has been confirmed as Max Verstappen's teammate at Red Bull next year. Don't forget the little people, Isaac. P10, Yuki Tsunoda, Red Bull. Speaking of little people, only fate could arrange for the departing Red Bull driver, Yuki, to start next to the driver who's replacing him at the team in Hadjar. Good luck, Yuki. It's been fun. Row 6, P11, Oliver Behrman for Haas, an apparent threat to the front runners in qualifying. Ollie just couldn't find the speed in his tires in the final laps of Q2 and came up short of Q3 by 7/1000ths of a second. P12, Carlos Sainz and Williams, the king of career DNFs with 42 in his 230 starts, but also a week after his second podium finish of the year had his team jumping for joy. Carlos and Williams will have their best constructors finish since 2016. Row 7, P13, Liam Lawson for Racing Bulls. The Kiwi had experience of 2 different teams in 2025. The results, 23 starts coming into this weekend, no wins, no poles, no top 10 grid spots, no fastest laps, and 5 DNFs. It's a start. P14, Kimi Antonelli for Mercedes. I mentioned earlier that Tsunoda starts next to 2026 replacement Hadjar. Say hello to Kimi Antonelli, who replaced Lewis Hamilton this year. Lewis is further back on the grid, but just 2 points ahead of Antonelli for 6th in the Drivers' Championship. Row 8, P15, Lance Stroll, Aston Martin. It's been a tough season for the son of the Aston team's owner, but at least Lance can boast that he qualified right behind 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton in Abu Dhabi. Lewis starts 16th. In fact, nearly every other driver on the grid can say they outran Lewis 3 races in a row because Hamilton failed to progress out of Q1 the last 3 races. That has never happened before to a Ferrari driver. P17, Alex Albon and the Williams. For the life of me, I can't figure out why this guy isn't more of a factor week to week. A former Red Bull pick for his talent, fast in practice, but usually beaten by teammate Sainz. The answer? Poor qualifying. Fix that, Alex. And Williams is that close to former glory. P18, Nico Hülkenberg for Sauber, the Secret Santa villain, by the way, who gifted Hamilton a walking cane as the oldest driver in the field, Nico Hülkenberg. He might well find something nice for the departing Sauber team, who revived his career, helped him score his first podium, and set him up for a factory Audi drive next year. Row 10, P19, Pierre Gasly for Alpine. Remember the season opener in Melbourne? I think it was 1956. The last 2 cars on the grid there were the 2 Alpines. Isn't it a comfort that 23 races later, we once again have Alpines bringing up the rear? Full circle. Finally, P20, Franco Colapinto for Alpine, completing a perfect campaign, 100%. The number 2 Alpine is the only car on the grid that never once made Q3 this year. Fernando should probably pass his new cane over to someone who needs it.
All right, Mr. Varsha, thank you very much.
Excellent stuff, sir.
Let's just check in with Chris in Abu Dhabi, see what's going on. Chris, eyes and ears.
Yeah, we've just all been shuffled off the grid. It took them ages to get everybody off. There's so many VIPs and celebs here, of which sadly I did not spot Katy Perry for the request there for an interview. I did see Ronaldinho, the soccer player.
Yeah.
And Alan Prost was there as well. We've got some former champions. We've got Lando's father just walking behind me, actually, to into the McLaren
Is Justin Trudeau there with Katy Perry?
Good question.
Well, because I didn't see Katy Perry, I couldn't tell you if Justin Trudeau's here.
Good point.
Nigel Farage is here, I'm told, so I steered clear of that interview. But anyway, just watching.
Tell's girlfriend doing the national anthem.
No. Lando's parents are just working out where they're going to watch the race from. I think his mum looks like she's going to head into the garage. His dad is going to go into hospitality. But he gave me a smile when I said he walked behind me there. I think they're trying not to be nervous. But one thing I think that is true to remember is that whatever happens here, we've had a mega season.
Yeah.
And we could well be crowning either one of the greats with their 5th with some heck of a comeback, or a new world champion who I will say right now, whoever wins it will deserve it, because Oscar to come back from here in this final race would be impressive with the year he's had. Lando to win it, having come back in the way he did actually after that Zandvoort DNF, has been very impressive. And well, Max is Max. So if either of those McLaren guys beat Max Verstappen still to the title, you've got to say they've earned it, haven't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially with the Oscar being so down after losing so much momentum. These last couple of races, he's looked fast, and you're right. He would be deserving. Lando, any one of them. But hey, Jonathan, I got a little a good news or bad news, however you want to describe it. The death of DRS is this will be our last race with the DRS in his current form.
Yippee yi ki abba dabba doo, abba dabba doo.
I'm tired of explaining it.
Yeah. Thank gosh.
Yeah.
You'll get to explain other power modes next year.
Yeah,
But hey, it's something new, and power just sounds cooler. Also, the last race for Renault engines.
Yes.
Yep.
That's one of the reasons I think Prost might be here actually. But Alpine going to Mercedes power next year, so that's the end of a proper era there. As you mentioned, Sauber as well.
Yep.
And the end of just 20 cars on the grid, because I followed Team Cadillac off the grid just then. I'm going to try and grab them after the race when we can then say that they will be starting the next one, because it's the final race before Cadillac becomes an F1 team on the grid.
Wow. That
Quite a lot going on today, isn't there?
That is amazing to say that
going
right
on
now.
today.
Oh, that is fantastic.
Cadillac will be in the next race.
Yeah.
Shoot.
All right, we've got 3 minutes left. Before we go to our predictions, I saw that Fernando Alonso plans to spend the Grand Prix watching the title fight on the big screens as he goes around the track.
Yeah, while eating a sandwich.
While eating a sandwich. Yeah.
I tell you what, that was my, if you want, it's not a prediction, but just watch, just the two people you should watch, Russell and Alonso.
Yeah. Do you think Leclerc could?
I think, and you just mentioned why Alonso, because he's like that. He knows, I mean, if anybody is smart enough to back the field up, it's Alonso. He's 2 points away from Antonelli, and more importantly, Aston Martin. He literally flies the flag for them to stay where they are or improve. So Alonso's got a lot on his plate and won't give a toot about the rest of them.
What were you going to say, Chris?
Well, I was going to say, he said that he hasn't got the pace to be involved in that, and he doesn't want to be in the headlines on Monday because he's been involved in the title fight. He thinks they're just going to disappear and go. I'm with you that he won't. I don't think he backs out of anything at the start, but I also don't think he really influences too much in terms of directly with a title rival. It might be, as you say, about backing up. He could create gaps in the field if his car is slower.
Yeah.
It happened actually in Qatar, didn't it? He created the gaps that the McLarens could put into eventually and get themselves recovered in some way, shape or form. But Russell, I'm 100% with you on Russell. And Leclerc. Leclerc says he wants a win or a podium. They've been a horrible year for Ferrari. He will take every chance he can get, but I think Russell's going to have his elbows out. He looks determined on the grid.
Awesome.
There you go.
Okay, it's time, gentlemen. The final prediction of the year. Bob Varsha, I'm going to let you go first, and you can set the table for us here. Go ahead.
Okay. Max Verstappen wins the race and the world championship. George Russell finishes second, and oh no, Max can't win if Oscar Piastri's on the podium. Can he?
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Oh, he can. Okay, I'll go with that then. First, Verstappen, Russell, and Piastri.
Greeny?
Oh, I don't know about the other two places on the podium, but I'll tell you this. It's Max to win the race, Lando to win the championship.
Okay. Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to actually go with Greeny, and I'm going to go with actually the order they start. I'm going to go Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, but it is going to be tense, and we're going to see some games played as Verstappen tries to make stuff happen.
Yeah.
But it might even be that Piastri's ahead of Norris and moves over to kind of protect him late on when it's clear that Piastri can't win it. So I'm going to go with that same top three, but not boring.
All right, I'm going to go Verstappen, Piastri, Russell.
Yep.
Okay, guys, we're done. Stay right here for the race.
Champion.
That's right. Stay right here for the race and come back and enjoy the post-race with us, please. Talk to you then.